The air was thick with the smell of death and destruction as the Sith Lord and her apprentice walked through the ruined streets of the city. They had been sent by the Emperor himself to quell a rebellion on this distant planet, and their mission had been a brutal one. As they walked, the Sith Lord Lady Kavra glanced over at her apprentice, a young man named Zarek. He had been with her for many years, and she had trained him well in the ways of the dark side. He was strong in the Force, but there was still a hint of compassion in his eyes that she needed to extinguish. "We must be diligent in our duty to the Emperor, Zarek," Lady Kavra said, her voice cold and hard. "The weak and compassionate have no place in our order." Zarek nodded, his face expressionless. "Yes, Master," he replied. As they approached the rebel stronghold, Lady Kavra could feel the anger and fear emanating from the people inside. It was a feeling she relished, knowing that she held their fate in her hands. Without a word, she raised her lightsaber and charged towards the entrance, with Zarek close behind her. The rebels put up a valiant fight, but they were no match for the Sith. As the last rebel fell, Lady Kavra let out a triumphant cry, relishing in the power she held. But as she turned to survey the battlefield, she noticed something strange. Zarek was kneeling on the ground, his lightsaber deactivated, and in his hand was the body of a small child, tears streaming down his face. "What are you doing, Zarek?" Lady Kavra demanded, her voice laced with anger. "This is no place for mercy." Zarek looked up at her, his eyes filled with sorrow. "I cannot continue to follow the dark side, Master," he said. "I can feel the light calling to me, and I cannot ignore it any longer." Lady Kavra's eyes narrowed in shock and disbelief. She had never expected this from her most loyal apprentice. "You are making a grave mistake, Zarek," she hissed, raising her lightsaber. "If you will not stand with me, then you are my enemy." As the two former allies clashed in a fierce duel, Lady Kavra knew that this would be her final battle. She had always known that the light side was a weakness, and she was determined to take Zarek down with her. But in the end, it was Zarek who emerged victorious. His lightsaber grazing Lady Kavra's shoulder as he disarmed her, she fell to the ground panting and defeated. "I'm sorry, Master," Zarek said, offering her a hand to help her stand, "but I cannot follow the dark side any longer." Lady Kavra looked up at him, a mix of sadness and anger in her eyes. "I always knew you were weak, Zarek," she spat, "but I never thought you would turn your back on me." With a heavy heart, Zarek turned and left Lady Kavra behind, ready to embrace the light and atone for the mistakes of his past. As he walked away, he knew that he had finally found his true path, no matter how difficult it may be.